Hello, today we are going to try to fix this commercial grade coffee machine. It is not a vending machine because the device do not accept any coins, but it is like a commercial model that is designed to be put into office space, so it's designed to have a lot of use. It is not a household machine. We've got multiple problems. First of all is a leak that is being developed around the solenoid inlet valve. It is just leaking, so as you can see we've got a lot of corrosion. This is our device. It is a solenoid valve. Here we've got a water inlet, we've got our coil and our outlet that is being connected to this silicone tube with a locking device, that tiny spring. The leak is around of that area, so I've got absolutely no way of fixing it. And it is also a cheap part, and because of that we are just going to swap it. It's not worth to leak and destroy any property. Here I've got a one-to-one replacement. Those industrial devices are good because a lot of parts you can just easily order, and as you can see we've got a one-to-one copy. It is just a standard industrial part. Here you can see the data, and it is a 24 volt coil, and we are going to swap it. Then I've got replacement for our power switch, and I also believe I've got a one-to-one replacement. The third problem is much more complicated because we do not have backlight on the LCD screen, and I don't know if problem is with the controller or with the LCD itself. It looks like a standard character 2x16 display, so it should be possible to swap it quite easily, but we have to investigate if there is a power issue. We also lost key for switch, so most likely I will replace it with a whole assembly. I will not try to find a replacement key. I will switch the lock and resolder it. Let's begin our work with solenoid valve that was mounted on bag. So we just go like this. It's nice to work on a commercial grade devices, and that's because they are using common parts. So you've got absolutely no problem in locating. You just go into the industrial sections and you are going to purchase a genuine part that is one-to-one replacement. And as you can see, we just mounted it. Now the tube and our connectors. Now we are going to mount our silicone tube. We're just going to push it and it will lock itself. And here we've got a small mechanical part that is locking it. We go like this. We go over that groove. And it's sound and secure. And our connectors, we are just sliding them like this. And our first fix is done. So we've got success. Here is our power switch, and I can clearly see it is a little bit misaligned. And as you can see, it is not providing safe way to disconnect this device, to isolate it. So I'm going to replace it. And here is the replacement that I'm going to be using. We also have got the power indicator. We've got very good access to it from back, so we are just going to pinch those blocking elements and the device will pop out into outside direction. And we are going to try to mount our replacement. As you can see, we've got 4 wires, and that means we are going to be cutting the phase and neutral conductor, and we are going to be arranging them by colors in the vertical orientation as the divider goes. And that configuration allows us to totally isolate machine. Absolutely beautiful. And we are going to move the protector so no water will go on that part. Absolutely beautiful. Second fix is done. Here is our hardest fix. As you can see, we've got our display and it's got problem of not having backlight. If I shine light, I can see the data. It is not the extremely standard model that you can find on Arduino. Here is a backlit module and those 2 wires are supplying power. As you can see, I put a tape, and that's because I was probing those 2 wires at that point, and I can see around 4 volts, so definitely the backlit is being powered on, but it's just not displaying, so there is fault in that device, and I'm going to replace it. Here is back of our key switch module. This is the biggest debouncing capacitor I ever seen on any switch. And we are going to undo it like this and replace. Here is the another side. You put your key and you are making connection. This whole assembly is going to be replaced. Around week passed and I've got spare part. I managed to get exactly the same key switch that is located here, and we are going to replace it. We are also going to take care of our screen because I've got what I believe 1-to-1 replacement, and that should resolve our issue with the backlight. But first start from that switch. This is our part, and it is quite interesting because it looks similar like a ignition switch in car. So you put the key, you turn it on, and it's making and shorting those contacts. It is quite interesting how beefy the debouncing capacitor is. I believe I never seen a electrolytic one used in that type of scenario, so it is quite interesting. And this is a replacement I've got with a beautiful set of keys, and I hope I got the dimensions right, and looks like yes. So we are going to transplant it. And here is our beautifully replaced part. As you can see, we can use the new keys to turn it on and off. Absolutely beautiful, great replacement part, 1-to-1. That should be beautiful. That part is done, and we can attach it back in place into the microcontroller board. Beautiful. I will power it on and we are going to see the display issue. So as you can see, it's booting up and we can see some information. As you can see, booting up, but it's completely dark. So we've got a problem with the backlit. I check for voltage on those 2 wires and we've got around 4 volts. So the backlit should be definitely working, but it's not. So fault is in the backlit display. I will try to swap the whole module assembly. This is what I've got. As you can see, beautiful new board, and here is the connectors for backlit. And this is how it presents. Here we've got our data terminals, and they are using quite different pinout because as you can see, the pin number 14 is here and 15 is here. So it is a little bit different than the standard one that is being used on the Arduinos. So I will try to swap it out. Let's see, did it get the good job? And as you can see, yes, it's looking absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look. Do we see what kind of driver that board is using? We've got those blob chip, so I've got problem. I have no idea. They look pretty similar. The pinout looks similar. I hope we've got a 1-to-1 match. So let me try to replace it. I put something here as a distance, and now we are ready to try it out. And I'm wondering what's going to be the end result. And we've got backlit. Just take a look. We've got a good fix. Just take a look. Every character is working, and we've got absolutely beautiful backlit. Just take a look. We've got another good fix. Yeah, this is what we want. And what's extremely funny, that whole assembly feels like Arduino, and I just noticed that on back we've got a USB for programming. So yeah, it feels like just someone put Arduino and make it happen, and it is a industrial design. So yeah, it is quite funny, and I'm pretty sure it was crazy expensive. And I can hear that we've got a signal. You can hear the beep. We are going to fix our last problem, and that's going to be replacing that fan. The fan is absolutely not spinning at all. I check voltage on those terminals, and we've got 24 volts. On a lot of fans you are going to find those funny numbers. In that case it's 9225, but that's mean actually dimension, so it's going to be square created of 92 millimeters, so 9 centimeters, and then 25 is going to be 2.5 centimeter depth, and then we've got 24, and that's going to be most likely 24 volts. When you are replacing fan, in some very specialized application you might need to find exactly the same volume of air, but in most cases, if you take a look at the amp ratings, you are going to be totally fine. Since we had a leaky valve, you can see that we've got a water damage, and most likely that's what killed the fan. And on those screws that were holding it back, you can see the sign of corrosions. So of course we are going to be replacing them. I mounted a brand new fan with new set of screws because the old one were corroded, and that's because of the leaky valve. And this is fan that I replace, and it was not spinning at all. I replace it with the same voltage and extremely similar current, so they are going to be 100% okay. I'm going to move it into place that I've got water, and we are going to try it out. I do apologize for the video quality, but I'm in my bedroom and this is the only place that I can hook up water. As you can see, the display is working properly. The fan is spinning. Here we've got our fan, and yes, it is spinning. As you can see, we've got 3 dispensers, the instant coffee, chocolate and milk. So we are going to first make ourselves cup of just dark coffee, and let me press it. And we've got a beautiful cup of coffee. Now we are going to make coffee with milk, so those 2 products are going to be dispensed. Let's go. Coffee. And we've got our white milk. Absolutely beautiful. Just take a look. We've got that beautiful, perfect cup. And the last that is going to be our hot chocolate. And as you can see, we nicely dispense our hot chocolate. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you find that interesting. See you next time and bye bye.